Hello, GED students. Remember what the first step is whenever you see a fraction. Breathe. All right, our calculator's going to handle the fraction. We need to handle the algebra. Here we go. It says find the area of a triangle with a base of 4¼ inches and a height of 3½ inches. Now, first of all, here's some things I noticed. Look at that. Find the area of a triangle. I see that language area. I see that language triangle. I get super excited because I know we've got area formulas on the GED formula sheet. So let's go find the area formula we need. So I'm just searching GED formula sheet on Google, and you're going to get a few of them. You can use the one in the book, or you can just use the one on the internet, but make sure you're at GED.com. Don't go to another website if you're taking the GED. Now, if you're taking a different test like the high set, use your formula sheet. But here it is, and what you're going to notice is, look, very top, area formulas. And what do we see? Area of a triangle. And there it is, area of a triangle. A equals 1/2 BH. So first thing to do is just copy that formula down. A equals 1/2 BH. When I was a high school math teacher, I used to give my students a point just for doing that. It's like you have no idea what to do, what the algebra is. At least you found the formula. It's a step in the right direction. But a lot of times, once you write that down, it becomes apparent what to do. Because look what I'm looking for. I'm asked to find the area. And look at that A in the formula. What am I doing? I'm finding A. Now, I'm finding A, so it stays an A. I leave my equal sign, equal sign. I'll leave my half, but B is not a mystery. Look at that. It says we have a base of 4¼ inches. So I can write 4¼ here. But I have to tell you something about substitution, guys. You're actually allowed to trade anything in math for something that's equal, that is equivalent. And if that fraction is freaking you out, I mean, we can type it into our calculator, but you could get rid of it right now using substitution if you want. You can just trade 4¼ out for 4.25. You say, Kate, how did you know that? I said, because it's a quarter, you guys. There's very few students in the US who don't know that a quarter is 25 cents. And so what is 4¼ It's 4.25. And let's see, next letter I needed after B was H. So I plugged in that B using parentheses because they're multiplying, because they're all shoved together. And now I need the H. And it said my H, my height was 3½ inches. Now, again, you can write 3½ there in a set of parentheses, or you can use the decimal equivalent. You can trade out one thing for the other as long as they're equal to each other. So if you know that a half is the same as 0.5, it's really easy to write in 3.5. And why is that a half? Because that's halfway through our digits, right? If you get halfway through our 10 digits, we're at 5. All right, and so now this is nice and simple. I can put this entire thing in my calculator. Oh, I just really don't even want to type fractions. What if I did another substitution? Instead of writing 1/2, here I could write 0.5. You say, is that legit? I say, yes. That's exactly what substitution says. That's the truth that we are clinging to all the time when we do algebra, that you can trade out one thing for another if the two things are equivalent. And 1/2 is exactly equivalent to 0.5. And so you're welcome to trade them at any time you want. And now my life is easy. 0.5 times 4.25 times 3.5, and I see my area is 7.4375. But oh no, you say to me, Kate, you were a lie. The truth wasn't in you. I don't see my answer there. First of all, I say, yes, you do. Only one of these is anywhere close to 7.4375. Of course, it's going to be the 7 and some number of square inches. But maybe you're saying, I need to prove that in my calculator. Fine, we can do a conversion, you guys. right here on the calculator, if you see in green that n over d to u n over d, that will allow you to get what we call mixed numbers. And so I think I'm going to try going straight from decimal to that instead of doing decimal to fraction to mixed number. Let's see if it works. All right. So in order to do that, it's in green. I'm going to hit the second button. Let's hit that conversion button. Will it go straight to a mixed number for me? Ha! It did. I like that. So yeah, it is 7 and 7/16. And so really doesn't matter which way you write your answer, but since my multiple choices were as mixed numbers, all right, my final answer here is mixed number. And of course, 7 and 7/16 what? Inches squared, because it's area, and area is measured in square units. Glorious. Nice job. So we can trade letters for numbers, variables for known values, but we can also trade numbers for numbers. If two numbers are equivalent, shoot, trade them out if you like. Whatever makes the math easier for you to do, you have that power. You're welcome. All right, you guys, super proud of you. Happy learning.